So my guy was ordering McD's. Shout out to Biggs, yeah? He was ordering McD's. And then the person must have got the order wrong. And I guess how he said excuse me to the person. Oh. He was like, yo, pause. And then the person just stopped talking. Now he's saying pause as in like, yo, shut up. Disrespectful or not.
Yeah, that's rude.
That's rude, didn't it?
Wait. He was talking and he just paused him.
The lady was talking. Like basically the lady got the order wrong, innit, yeah? So he was like, yo, I need to reorder, innit? And then all you hear Big say, yo, pause to the lady.
Yeah, that's rude, man.
It's like, this is what I meant. And I thought, because I don't pause as pause, innit? Like, yo, no. He used pause as shut up.
Yeah, that's rude.
Wow.
And I was
rude, innit?
Yeah, man.
I was like, yo, bro, is she a PlayStation, fam? This guy treated her like FIFA, fam. No, because you know what's man? I said, yo, pause. And then this is her. And then he went, yeah, so can I get this? I just finish off the order.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
And he ended up getting 10 barbecue sauces all just for him. So shout out to Biggs.
What's good, world? Welcome to episode 20 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast. It's your boys again. It's me, Yemi.
Did you say your boys?
Don't ever address to us as your boys, fam.
I've been doing that since like episode 15. Like, come on, get to know.
Said your boys.
Anyway, it's your boys, Yemi, Peter, and Mo.
Get me rubbed in Tottenham, fam.
Say what?
Get me rubbed in Tottenham, bro.
What we're saying, your boys?
Yeah, fam.
All right, fair enough. I don't go to Tottenham, so it's fine. And today we have a very special guest. We have a producer who has worked with the likes of Flohio, slowthai, Oscar World Peace, 808 Inc., and the list goes on and on. He is a friend to the show now. He's one and only JD Reid.
Yo.
Guys, what we saying?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We need some like horns or like applause or something when you
horns.
guests and that.
You see just a round of applause, just like
Somewhere, man.
I mean, I can add them in post-production if you want.
Yeah, we got to add something.
I want some cheering or something, bro.
So what?
Some cheering, like.
Some cheering. Hey, we can do that. Round of applause. And we'll just say, round of applause for JD Reid. Yeah. Have a little pause. And then that's
and
when
there you go,
I
fam.
think that sounds good, man.
All right, cool. Gentlemen, what we saying?
We're good, man. God is good, innit?
All the time?
All the time, God is good.
Good. Have we had a good week?
Yeah, not bad, man. Busy. And yeah, just keeping busy. That's it, really.
Mm.
Yeah. I had a great week. I saw Mo Gilligan this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bruv. Like, I don't know how we got lucky. I got tickets to go see, me and Chris got me tickets to go see Mo Gilligan in, I don't remember where the area was, but he had a show called something like in the works or something on the works or in the works or practice or some shit. So he's practicing for his next year, his tour. Mm. So literally, we thought we was going to go see him do like a 20-minute, we only paid £15-16 for it. We thought it was going to be like a 15-minute set and you go home. This guy had an hour set. Like he had a half an hour set, took a break, like 25-minute set, took a break, had two comedians come on, they went off, and then he literally had a 45-minute to an hour set of material.
Was he good?
And then had a Q&A. All for £16.
So what, did they not advertise this? You just kind of...
I don't know. I don't think I don't think he puts it on his Insta or anything. I feel like it's a website we bought it from called In the Creek, so I guess it's if you know, you know.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So me and one of my mates, her mate went, and then she told her about it. It was like, yo, he done a half an hour set, so if you're lucky, he might do the same thing. But he ended up doing an hour set plus, and he also done a Q&A with us after. So that, yeah, he's hilarious. He's done.
Was it better than the Netflix special? Because the Netflix special wasn't that good.
I found the Netflix special hilarious.
There was some funny bits.
Yeah.
There was some funny bits in there, but generally I just like...
Yeah, it was I found it funny. Maybe it's because it's relatable, isn't it?
Yeah,
I feel like because these jokes are so relatable. I feel like because these jokes are so relatable. He had one whole thing in the show we went to where he was talking about... What was he talking about again? Shit. My mind's gone. He was talking about something and it was just mad relatable. And I feel like it's different because we're so used to comedians in America and like comedians that are not from the ends. If they are from the UK, like say Lee Evans or something. So as much as it's relatable, it's not fully relatable. Yeah, I feel like Mo Gilligan's the first comedian that's on that level.
I wouldn't say first.
No, I'm saying on that level.
But I'm
saying on that level. Like Slim,
well, Kojo bigger.
You're crazy. This guy's...
Kojo bigger than Mo Gilligan?
Yo, Mo Gilligan just done a world tour.
Nah?
Mo Gilligan's doing a world tour.
Mo Gilligan's got a Netflix special, bro.
Mo Gilligan got a world tour. Don't even put them in the same...
man,
I'm
trying to back my boy, man.
Yo, shout out to Kojo. They're not even in the same book.
You're setting the Kojo up for failure.
Yeah, because they're not even in the same book, fam. Like one is Champions League, the other is...
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that, man.
Let's not do that, man.
Yeah, fam.
barely scratching Europa League
Yo,
group stage.
Europa League. Are you crazy?
Into
fam?
Toto Cup.
Is this guy even in the Premier?
Wow.
Is he even in the Premier League, fam?
Into Toto
He's even in
Cup.
the Premier League, fam.
Let's not
He's
do
even-
that.
oh, come on.
Let's not do that. Come on, man.
I mean, I've never been that big a fan, but
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not even. I don't think you know what Mo Gilligan's doing madness right now, bro. Like Netflix, the World Tour. I think he had 3 shows when he just got announced. He had 3 shows in London. They all got sold out the same day, and now he's added 3 more shows. Yeah, Mo Gilligan's on crack. But yeah, just wanted to say, like, it was what he done was epic.
JD, how was your week?
I don't have no opinions.
My week was good, bro. I just I was in studio Monday through to Friday. Just trying to get it in, bro.
It's working, man.
Yeah,
You never stop working, man.
pretty much.
Pretty much, man. Flipping on. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, how was your week?
Thank you.
Just in case.
Because I wasn't going to ask.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
I ain't going to lie to you.
I was
like-
anticipating that
A
too.
bit of me was like, it'll be so funny if we just go, yeah, fuck it.
Safe. Yeah, there's a running joke. They never ask me how I am. I always ask them how they are, but they don't give me the same courtesy.
You tough.
Sorry, man.
You tough.
How was your week, bro?
Thank you, JD. Yeah, my week was cool.
All right, cool. So the topic, not joking.
I didn't really do much, man. Yeah, well, there's probably going to be a fight on this podcast before the end of this one. But yeah, I didn't really do much, man. I went and saw Blue Story midweek. Which was
Shout out to
dope.
Hannah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Shit
Shout
out
out
of you. Is it back in there yet?
back in view.
Right.
After that madness.
That was all nonsense, though, man.
Yeah.
Of course,
I didn't really understand them.
Any
trying to, like,
excuse,
take
any
that
excuse,
cinema.
man. Any excuse. But yeah, it's back now by popular demand. Yeah, it's a good film. Shout out to Ratman. Shout out to everybody involved. Shout out
Shout out
Hannah as
Hannah.
well, our friend who
Shout out
was
to Hannah.
the main girl's best friend. So shout out to her. Played 2 lines and all that stuff. So yeah, she did bits.
Shout out to her.
But other than that, it's been a normal week, really. Ready to do some podding, man.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah, man, 100%. So yeah, JD, thank you for coming through.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, man. I guess we want to start with getting into who you are
Who am I?
and how you get into music.
Such a philosophical question,
It is, man. It is. But sometimes you gotta ask them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a music producer, born in London. Been doing this for a minute now. How many years has it been now? Since I've been actively like trying to do this as like a job, I would say about 7 years. But actually making music, I'm touching about 15 now.
Wow.
Yeah. So like started secondary school, just trying to basically make beats for like the grime MCs and ends in the school, trying to come up that sort of way. Like my cousin gave me some music production software like really early on. Cubase he was using, gave me a copy of that. Just started like chopping up audio at home, trying to just figure out like the real basics of it. And then just over time, like what was just kind of fun became more of like an everyday sort of thing that like I'll come back from school and I'll either be playing PlayStation or straight to my PC like making beats and shit, man. But yeah, that's kind of just been since I started at 15. That's just what I've been doing.
Who were some of the MCs you were making beats for at first?
Literally, it was just like the boys in my year and like trying to then work from the MCs in my year to the MCs a couple years above me. And then like the MCs who were like from ends, not in the school, but like just local ones that was doing their thing as well. I don't think it'd be anybody if I name them now that people know, but yeah.
They were somebody back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that must have been like such an amazing experience at the time, like starting out and then, just handing beats over to like people that you knew and stuff, and obviously growing into a career as well.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm quite lucky in a way that I've managed to now turn it into something that I can actually be doing as my job. Because obviously there's so many people that love music with a passion and they want to be in it. But like, I feel like, there's a lot of talented people, but then sometimes it is a case of, things falling into place the right way, which can allow you to actually do this thing properly.
When did it start for you to fall in place?
I think I kind of always made decisions. After I finished school, I was always trying to like put myself in places like either work-wise or alongside people where I thought that it was going to be a way that was going to help me actually be able to do music. So like, obviously I finished school, then I did music tech in college. Then after that, I went to uni and did music technology as well, kind of buying myself time to like get better at what I was doing.
Yeah.
Meeting people at uni that were interested in the same things. Then when I left uni, I was like, okay, I don't just want to like go into trying to do an office job now. I've been thinking about this for so long. So like I went traveling for 3 months and I came back, and then I tried to find like internships in studios. So I was training actually to be like an assistant recording engineer. When I came back, I was working at this under this studio chain called Moloko, and they've like got studios all over London. Ended up at this place called Assault and Battery in Willesden, which was like more of a sort of like band-based studio. They did a lot of like indie music there, like world music. But the two guys that were basically the main mix engineers there and producers were these guys called Flood and Alan Mulder. And like one of them was famous for like doing a lot of the U2 stuff, and the other guy was like 9 Inch Nails. Now for me, these are artists like that I know of, but like I didn't really know the music like that. So it was sick. Like I was learning about a whole nother side of music. But like I was there for a while training to be an engineer, and after a while it was like, okay, I feel like I'm spending so much time learning how to help other people create that I'm not getting enough time to like focus on this myself. So I left there, and then.
So at the time, like, were you balancing that with making beats, or was it just slowly, like, solely?
I mean, when I was coming home after a day being there, I was trying to make stuff, but I'd say at that time my productivity had definitely slowed down. But like prior to me actually starting working there, after I'd been traveling, I came back. I put a project out with some MCs that I met, like Piff Gang, another rapper, it's Nate. And yeah, I was doing quite a bit with them at that time. So I'm jumping like back and forth now, all over the place. It's a while ago, so I'm just trying to piece it all together in my mind. But I was doing my thing with them, but obviously I needed to make P's as well. So that was me working at the studio. Then yeah, I left there, and then I started working at Rinse FM as like a broadcast assistant. Shout out Lily Mercer, actually, because I met her through working with the Piff Gang guys, and then she actually brought me in and got me a job there.
Dope.
So as a result of me then working there, I was surrounded by like loads of just sick music people, DJs, producers. There was always different people coming through, and I never really like pushed my music onto people there. I wasn't like screaming, I'm a producer, like let me play you this and play you that. But over time, people, you get to know people. They ask you like, okay, you work here, but like, what do you do? You start to learn about the person.
What was the reason for not kind of telling people more about?
It's just I've never really been the kind of person to like scream about what I do. I'd rather that like I just did it well and people found it.
Yeah, organically, innit?
Yeah, like, and also in my mind, I was there like I'm working in it. I'm not meant to be here to be like trying to sell myself. But I did quite a lot of work on Plastician show there. One day he was just like recording a pre-record in the room next door, and I was like, I feel like this guy is going to be someone who's going to understand the music that I'm making right now probably more than a lot of other people in this building. So I just gave him a few beats, which then turned into him saying, do you want to do a release on my label? So it's like, this is what I mean when I say that I've been fortunate in the way that things just kind of
fell into place.
Have fallen into place,
Yeah, shout out Plastician.
Yeah, shout out Plastician, man. Like, I feel like without that actual project being released with him, the first thing I did with him, possibly many things that have happened since then might not have been the way they were. Like, I always put the work in, try to be like the best I can be when it comes to creating, but sometimes you need those people along the way that give you a bring in or like intro you to this person or just help out, I think that's across life,
that's just how
it's not just like music, but shout out Plastician.
100%. And now you just never stop working, man. And you found yourself at a time where like you're just working with so many up and coming exciting artists as well, like, and you're kind of at the pulse of what's like dope musically. I feel like, what does it feel like to be in a part of like such an up and coming like dope scene?
It's sick, man. Like, it's in the past few years, especially. I feel like a lot of the people that I started working with, I guess, quite early on in their thing, have now like grown into like actually quite big artists from the UK.
Like who?
I could say like Koji, Slowthai. 808 Inc., Mabel,
Yeah.
like all these people that I've come into contact with. It's a very nice feeling to see a group of people that you actually like and are talented getting where they aim to get to. Like that is a really nice feeling, man.
And you're part of their journey as well, man. 100%.
It's amazing to be a part of it, bro.
So they probably feel the same way about you as well, seeing your growth. And
I would hope so, man. Yeah, I would hope so.
100%, man. 100%. I mean, I still work with him, so it's all good. Isn't it?
Yeah.
What were like your first or the earliest like influences as far as your style of production?
I guess I always was a huge fan of Pharrell, Timbaland, and then when I first like started putting out music myself, like the more instrumental based stuff, I was like really into Flohio. Like Flying Lotus was probably the third big influence producer wise that was kind of my thing of my way of seeing you can just do instrumental music and it can be like a thing. I know people have obviously put out instrumental music in like drum and bass, garage, whatever, dance music in general, but like with him, that was like something, it's mad inspirational to me.
Yeah.
Flylo was like so like, it's not just rap, it's like so much more than that, so I can get...
Yeah, it's very eclectic.
Yeah,
like you can pull
every type of genre. You can pull a lot from Flylo, 100%.
Yeah.
So who are like some of your, if you had to name your top 5 favourite rappers, who would they be?
Busta Rhymes.
Okay, strong start.
I knew you were going to say that.
Jay-Z. Kendrick.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure I get this right. Seeing as it's just 5 of them. I'm trying to think about like who are the ones when I was growing up that I wouldn't say not so much now, but back like in the earlier days, influence-wise, I'd say Ludacris was one. And then a 5th.
It's hard to narrow it down though, isn't it?
Top fives are always difficult, man.
Because it's like there's so many across like.
How do you pick 5? Like, God knows how many rappers you've probably taken in.
Yeah, we still want to answer though.
And then also off the top of the head as well.
Yeah, we probably should have prepped you, innit?
Yeah, we still gonna want to answer, bruv.
Hey man,
give me like.
Cool.
Give me a few. I'll come back. I'll have one for you.
But why those rappers in particular? Like individually, like why Busta, why Jay, why all those guys?
I think with the ones I mentioned there is like for me when I first started listening to like rap music, I was actually quite young. Probably like the first rap album that I really like listened to was When Disaster Strikes by Busta Rhymes. That came out in like 96, 97 maybe.
Something like that.
Like my mom got me that CD. Probably shouldn't have been listening to that at that age. But like I wasn't really taking in what he was saying so much at that time, but the voice and the flow was like the things that instantly grabbed me. So I think with all of those guys from very early on, it was like beat selection, the voices grabbed me, the flows, and then obviously like with someone like Jay-Z, it's just bars story as well. Kendrick is obviously a newer addition to the whole thing, but he's just a G, man. I love his music. So
he'll be number 1.
Kendrick.
When it's all said and done.
You think so?
Yeah. Give me 2 more and I'm good.
I think he needs one more, but that's just me.
I think give me 2 more classic albums. Even 2 more good Mad Cities. Or Damn.
Or any of them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or any of them.
Give me 2 more. He's the best that's ever done it.
For me, I just don't see him overtaking Jay.
Okay.
yeah,
musically, I think so.
You don't think so?
Impact-wise, probably no.
As far as greatness, because I think being the best at something is different from like.
I think when it's all said and done, he'll be the greatest that's ever done.
I don't see him being greater than Jay.
I'm saying when it's all said and done, though. Like
I think
when both of their
we'll have a better catalogue.
When both of their careers are done, 2055. Kendrick's the nicest that's ever done it.
2055.
you might be right about that.
Yeah, I think he will be, man. I think Kendrick has not missed
By
yet.
the time he's done,
Kendrick is definitely going to have a
hasn't
better
missed
catalog.
yet. We can safely say that Jay-Z's missed a couple times.
Kingdom Come.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe once. Kingdom Come. I don't know any others, to be honest. That he's missed on.
Completely missed.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come fraud.
I don't even feel like it's
the best of both worlds.
I don't feel like it's a fair
you
comparison.
know what? Sorry, let me
best
just
of
say
both worlds.
Kanye is my 5th.
Kanye.
Kanye's my 5th.
I just can't add Kanye Mount because of the ghostwriting thing.
Yeah, why'd you add him to your 5th?
Because of like the early stuff, man. Really, through to now. Yeah, I know maybe he doesn't write so much now, all of every single bar, but I know the ideas,
Came
the
from him.
punchlines is his.
No, he's a genius. He's
And yeah, across the board of like making the beats, the production, the albums, the quality of the projects. Yeah.
Kanye will come back.
Yeah,
up again.
I think he's always had the lyrical ideas. He's just needed someone to refine them, fine tune them. Now you can clearly see that he's the only one that's actually fine tuning his bars. It shows. But back in the day,
Shout out to
lyrically,
Rufus.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely make a shout out for him, especially on like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He's like saying some of the best bars
Going crazy.
of his life.
I listened
No,
back
no.
to that album again last week. It was like, was the 10 years?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bro, you listen back to it, you realize how sick. Like, obviously we know it's sick.
That-
But listening back is like, raw. That's
Yeah.
actually a serious.
Now, that album, I think if we do a decade show, that album's number one for me.
And obviously, as a
album's
producer,
special.
you pick up
That
a lot of
album's
different things.
the
as
best
well.
album that's come out in the last 10 years for me.
Say that again.
That album's the best that's come out in the last 10 years. Dark Twisted Fantasy, Mabel was on another
I
planet.
wouldn't argue that.
That's all
Yeah.
it was.
I'm not
It's
arguing
on another planet. Oh, what?
And it came out at the top end of the.
That's why if we have a
decade,
decade show, that album's on another fourth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
100%, man.
I don't feel satisfied with me saying Ludacris either. Though.
Why? No, I'll be honest with you, bro. I agree with you, fam.
No,
'cause these
Ludacris
lot will
had
tell-
an era, though.
These don't tell you how I feel about Ludacris, bro. Like,
Nah, man. Ludacris
He's always
had
been a
an
barrer to me. Though,
hey, bro, throw Ludacris.
and he's
in
always
the
made
bin.
like good albums. So
I can't even name 2 Ludacris albums for you, fam.
He's from that like Busta
do that.
Rhymes, Redman.
I promise you,
I rate him. I've always rated
It's
him.
like,
I'm not a Ludacris fan.
That's crazy. You're not a
Not at
Ludacris
all.
fan.
Well, shoot me for that.
I'm not
fam.
surprised though,
Why are you not surprised?
because of the type of music that you listen to and the type of rappers you like.
I'm not a Luda. I was never a Luda fan.
I can
like
see that. Like Ludacris is
You
very.
know who I like?
Yeah.
I like Taj. You know who Taj is? That's who Luda plays in Fast and Furious.
See? Like, why you always do that? Why you can't just respect
Oh, leave me alone, man.
No, bro. What's your issue, bro?
That's who I like. Taj, I love.
Anyway,
I love.
Ludacris.
No, quickly, because he's amazing at Fast and Furious. But Ludacris, the rapper, yeah, keep him to yourself.
Safe. After this guy just named him in the top 5, you didn't say that. This guy, man.
No, he said he feels a way about it, so that's why I could
I
come
mean, you
to
can change it if you want. But that's just sentiment, isn't it?
yeah, it's not like a. That's why I'm like, it's not really a good reflection of like now. I'm like, okay, he's not really. He's not in my top.
I'm gonna ask him.
five right now.
I've got a question for you. Just from your top 5, there's just a generic. I feel like Biggie and Puck is always in people's top 5. One of the two. Is there a reason why you don't include either one?
I mean, yeah, Biggie could probably replace Ludacris easily. Now you say that, but they just didn't come straight. They didn't
Yeah,
come
like,
straight to my mind.
Those are the two that I feel like is in. Whenever you hear top 5, 9 times out of 10 you hear those
Yeah,
two.
I should have said Biggie instead of Ludo because that's actually more realistic.
I feel you. Or
Okay, cool.
Or
We'll
Puck
do that.
ahead of Biggie.
Yeah,
Or the
obviously.
one.
Come on. So yeah, that's a strong 5. And as far as like your own music and like projects go, like what are like some of your plans for like the next year or so?
I want to make an album now. I
You
put out the mixtape last year. I planned on having more of an idea of what this album was going to be now. I have more of an idea now, but I'm taking my time with it. So I'm going to keep producing for other people and yeah, just work on my album alongside that.
So you haven't started it at all?
Well, I've got ideas for it, but it's still in the piecing it together stages right now. Like, I've got a lot of influences and a lot of ideas for it, so it's kind of something I want to take time to refine and make sure I'm doing it properly rather than just trying to rush a project out because I've got a lot of beats and a lot of music.
Yeah, and the album is like, especially it's your debut. It'll be your debut as well, right? Exactly.
yeah.
So it's got to be perfect in a sense.
That's
Yeah,
what I want it to be, man.
There's no rush at all, man. It's like take your time, and you know.
You see, you say that though, but right now in general, I feel like in music there is a weird rush to like always have something for people. People are impatient, and you know, music comes and goes quick. So it's like,
True.
should you just be dropping stuff all the time, or should you be waiting a long time? It's like, if maybe there's no one actually saying it, but it feels like there's more pressure to do stuff quickly now than maybe there was before. But
Well, I mean, your work is already out there because of all the artists you work with. So technically, you're working still. You
I'm
know what
lucky
saying?
that I'm good that it's rolling like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like for my own project, like music released as JD Reid, it's like, should I be putting out more? Maybe, but I don't want to just rush it and not be as happy as I should be with what
I feel
comes
like
out.
producers get a little bit more leeway with that though, because obviously they're not like rappers or singers, so the pressure might not be there as much visibly. But it's interesting that you say that you're like,
Maybe it's more something that I put on myself more than anything else. I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
well, we'll be here patiently waiting anyway. And if you haven't listened to it yet, listen to his mixtape Tree that released last year. It's dope. So yeah, let's get into the first topic. After all that,
Bro. After all that,
we're going to
Told
get
you
into the
from
first
the top.
topic. So yeah, I guess first of all, I wanted to get into our top 5 producers, because this is kind of like, as JD's here, he is a producer. We kind of wanted to frame it around the idea, this episode around production, the art of production, producers at large. So I guess I wanted to start off with us naming individually our top 5 producers. So
you're looking at me like you want me to go first.
no, I'll go first if you want. I'll go first if you want.
I don't mind going first.
Go ahead then.
Kanye's my favorite producer of all time, so he's number 1. The rest are in no order. I've got Dilla, I've got Madlib, I've got Pharrell, and I think that last one goes to Ninth Wonder.
Oh, it's definitely going to Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, Kanye, man. Like, I think when he came into the game, particularly at that time, there wasn't his style. People know him for, like, you know, the soul samples and that type of production. And I think when he came into the game, there wasn't much of that. So one of his first major spots was on Jay-Z Blueprint. So when he did that, I feel like he kind of just shifted the sound in hip hop around that time as well. And because I was very young, I think I was very impressionable, especially around that time when Blueprint came out. So I was soaking in a lot of it, and I just remember that being like that sound being very prominent within my secondary school years. Was that secondary school? Maybe early secondary school, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's just a sound that like just fills me. That soul sample. I love soul music. You might know how I feel about my soul music. So like, there's just a feeling that his production. Shut up. there's just that feeling that like just soul sampled production gives me. Like, it just gives me that warmth and just that good feeling. And I feel like Kanye's production, early Kanye, did that for me. I won't say why for the rest, but yeah, man, that's my top 5.
Feel you, Mohammed.
You can go next.
Oh, you want me to go next?
I want to hear yours.
Okay, cool. So my first one is Madlib, mainly because I just love how diverse he is. Like, he's not just a rap producer. He is a jazz producer. He's a jazz musician. He does rock albums. He'll do Indian albums. He'll do African albums. He'll do Brazilian albums. He'll do reggae albums. He's very versatile, and not a lot of people give him his props because he's just quiet. He's elusive. He doesn't really talk too tough about himself or how he like goes about. He just goes about very, very quietly. So I just feel like he's been one of the most consistent producers since he came out. He's been out since like the early 90s. Obviously, he's responsible for albums like Mad Villainy, Bandana, Pinata. He's offered production to pretty much anybody who's anybody, like in the rap game. And yeah, man, he came into my life like quite early on. I was like maybe 15, 16, listening to Mad Villainy for the first time and just loving everything about it. And I've just stayed on the Madlib train since then. So yeah, I feel like he's got a beat for everybody. And it's mad that he's actually sitting on loads of stuff that probably won't ever come out. That's just amazing. And that to me just speaks to like how talented the guy is. And yeah, that's pretty much me for him. And then I've got, in no particular order, I've got Kanye. I've got RZA. I've got Q-Tip, because I'm a big Tribe Called Quest fan, so Q-Tip's got to be in there. And I've also got Primo. Primo. Yeah, that's me.
DJ from
And yeah, shout out to Primo, man. So yeah, Primo, because I'm just a big fan of like 90s boom bap rap, and he is the living embodiment of that. So you know what to expect when you get in a Primo beat, and it always slaps. Kanye, because that's my favorite artist ever. Artist. And yeah, man, he can do no wrong production wise, even when like the lyrics and all that stuff might not necessarily be as good. He's always gonna have like a great production here or there because he's got such a great ear for sounds. RZA, because his run from when the Wu-Tang came out to about 97 with their second album is probably one of the best ever. I love that basement feel. I love that rawness. And even when he kind of shifted from that to more like grand sounds, like, yeah, man, he just did it really well, I think. And Q-Tip, because, yeah, man, just, he's got flavor, man. He's got flavor. Bin had flavor. And yeah, man, that's just my guy, basically. So yeah.
Flavor.
Flavor.
He's got flavor.
He's got flavor.
Some old school references here.
Well, like the Craig David song.
Huh?
I said,
Queen
what's
David
your
song, that's
flavor?
crazy. I'm sorry, man.
Anyway, JD, what were you?
Well, 3 of them I mentioned already.
Mm.
I'll say the Neptunes though, because
Oh, that's what I was gonna say as well.
if we're
I'll
on
say that
track,
as
they
well,
come
yeah.
they come as a pair, you know. Timberland, Flohio, Kanye, and Dilla. I think that's my 5. It's a familiar 5, but nobody can deny any of those.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah.
So
Not at
you
all.
know,
Not at all. They all had runs in and of themselves.
hmm
And yeah, man.
I think
But-
Timberland should be like spoken about a bit more.
And yeah, let me say my top 5 because he's
But
in
hold
mine,
on.
so I want to give him my
it's
grace.
all of them have made music that, like, for me personally, yeah, the beats slap, but it's like music with feeling in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beats that can take you on a journey, make you feel something. It's music that, like, you can associate with hearing that shit for the first time at a certain place like that. The feeling don't leave you with all of them. Like certain albums that each of them have worked on, and yeah, it's all of their music has like left a real mark on me and inspired me. So
Do you find yourself taking like bits of their styles and
I feel like definitely, man.
Yeah.
Like my production is pretty much, I would say, like me taking influence from the parts I love about other areas of music and putting it in my own way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, putting your own spin to it.
So yeah.
feel you? Yeah, man. Strong list. Mohammed?
I feel like we said majority of it already. I've got one more that I might add. So I feel like the greatest is Kanye. So he's Kanye before 2018, before MAGA, before that whole before all that Make America Great Again,
I mean, he still makes good beats.
and before he gave me that Nas album. So Kanye,
The beats were good on that.
You're writing
Nas
off the
album.
whole thing.
the
that
Nas
whole
album. What, Kanye's one?
Yeah.
I hate that album, bro. Oh my god, I hate that album.
Cop Shot
bro.
the Kid.
I'm saying, bro. Like, come on,
Beat
man.
was crazy.
Hey, bro,
The
I'm
beat is
so-
mad.
I'm sorry,
All the
bro.
beats
He
on
did-
that album.
the cop did
I
shoot
like the
me,
one
fam.
as well. I had everything.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That beat
Come
was
on.
good as well.
But that just showed, that proved to me that he still got it.
Well,
that album.
They approved Beat 9.
But
His last album too.
you need to listen
fam,
again.
I'm not on that team.
you need to listen again, man.
Yo, where did we find Mohammed?
Yo,
bro?
fam,
I don't know,
listen,
Tottenham.
What's his last album?
You don't like the new album either?
Nah. I did. You know what's crazy? At first, I was like, it's all right, and then I went back to it. And it's like, nah. But you know what it is? I feel like Kanye as a person has now. I've invested in him as a person, and I feel like I'm listening to him with.
With that.
Like I already know. I'm going into it not liking it.
I hear that.
Whereas you remember Kanye before was whatever he does, you've got a bias one way or another. But I can't, and I just maybe that's how. Because now when I listen to it, it's like I don't like you.
Yeah.
It's
So
hard
already-
to separate the two
It's separate,
sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe because when I tell Yemi this, when I was like to Yemi, I don't like the Nas album, I don't like the last one. He's same reaction. So are you listening to it? It's like, yeah, but it's just like,
No, you're not. I still believe you're not.
no, that's what I'm saying. And I think it might be just because him as a person I really don't fuck with. But anyway, I feel like he's the greatest ever when it comes to production. I feel like he's an alien. Like he's broken. The Neptunes I was gonna say, I was gonna put Timbo there as well. I was gonna put Ninth Wonder there as well. The fifth, I was gonna put just because it meant so much to me was Mad. No, I'm joking. It's not Mad Lib, fam. I don't care about him. I was joking.
To be fair, even Knife Wonder's surprised.
I was joking. I think I care about MF Doom, fam. You better fraud that. Come on, fam.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna fight.
With his stupid mask, fam.
Yeah, we're gonna fight.
What's the MF Doom and Mad Lib album called?
Bro, Mad Villain.
Man villainy.
Mad Villainy.
Can you just name your fifth, please?
they're adults,
Can you
you know.
stop? Can you stop? Can you
Anyway,
stop?
Anyway, the fifth year gave me Exhibit C, so my fifth is gonna be Just Blaze. Yeah,
Okay.
because I feel like you guys know the kind of music I listen to, and the kind of music I listen to, I feel like if you just give me a list of my top 20 songs that I like, Just Blaze will have at least 7 of them.
Yeah.
Just me as a person, I really fuck with Just. Like he's got some, and I don't even know how many Drake Jay-Z songs Just Blaze has got. Like it's a ridiculous amount that he's done for just Jay-Z. And then when he's got, I feel like Exhibit C's maybe the production for Exhibit C's on another level. So Just Blaze is definitely in my top 5, man. I've kind of always put him there, and I feel like I grew up in his music, and I feel like he's underrated, which is crazy because his run has been stupid. Like he's been making beats since the 90s, so it's dumb. He's had a dumb long career. So yeah, Just Blaze is always my fifth. Like he's always gonna be top 5, and I
He's
feel
been
like
consistent for time.
and I feel like Timbo as well. We need to give him his respect, man. Like I feel like sometimes he gets overlooked.
Yeah.
It depends on who you're asking. I think hip hop heads don't overlook him. The same thing with Just Blaze. If you ask maybe a wider audience, then
I feel like Just Blaze definitely gets overlooked, even by hip hop heads.
I'm surprised none of you said Dre.
Same reason same reason with Ghostwriter, bro. I heard a few stories about Dre, and
But then the same could be said for probably Timbaland as well. Like you think about all the Nelly Furtado time, the Justin Timberlake stuff. A lot of it was danger as well. But obviously Timbaland still has his
the idea
hands over
I
everything
see
the
what
same way
you're saying.
Dre would have.
And it seems like that's a
does.
thing in like producing as well. Like even like Puff Daddy, like he I think he didn't actually touch any of the buttons, but he would be like, "Yo, you do that, you do that." That's a form of producing. So
But then, as
they should maybe still be mentioned, and maybe Dre should be given a bit more respect.
As a producer, though, when you hear they are not hands on with it, do you look at them differently?
But I would say that at one point, the earlier days, yeah, they was definitely making beats as well. And I feel like if you're in the room and you're able to piece together like a piece of music with, it's like if you produce a band and you've got 5 musicians and you bring them together and piece this piece of music together, like that is production.
Yeah, I see what
That is creating something.
You don't have to be pushing the buttons to be producing.
Yeah, like if I wanted like a crazy piano solo in a song that I made and I'm not able to play it, I'm gonna bring the keys player in and dictate to him how I'd like it to be to come across, you know. So
what do you think is the greater skill though? Beat making or like producing, in a sense?
I feel like there's an art to being able to make a sick beat, but there's also an art to being able to get the right combination of people in a room together and creating something special as well. So, you know, they both stand for me.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, with Dre, I
Just quickly, I just want to say something. JD made an amazing point, so I want to take 9th out, put Dr. Dre in my top 5. You lot can continue.
I wondered why 9th was in your top 5 anyway.
Hey man, shout because I respect the legend, bruv. But just
I didn't even think
You never
Also,
met-
that's another question I was going to ask. It's a couple of you said 9th, right?
Yeah.
What is it, like obviously 9th has got sick beats, but like what is it that puts him in your top 5?
For me, similar to Kanye with the style of production and just how well he's able to flip the samples. I think for people that are really into like samples, because I'm into like 60s and 70s music, particularly soul type music, I love that sample sound. So just hearing the samples that he's using and how he's flipped it and made a hip hop track out of it, it's just like, raw. There's not many people that do it as well as him and Kanye to me. I think that's why I've got him in there. And then on top of that, his consistency. He's been active since, I think the first Little Brother album was like early 2000s. And like we're in 2019 and he's still fairly prominent within hip hop. So
yeah, Duckworth on
consistency is a big thing for me, man. I think whomever I'm judging, whatever field, whether it's football, music, whatever, consistency, like performing at a high level for a period of time is important for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've got 9th in there.
Got you.
Well, you don't think he's in there?
No, I was thinking, are you basing it off like songs that you love that he's produced, or just the skill that he has for being able to create a beat the way that he does?
I think even that's probably going to lead into the next topic, because like I think there are people that I've spoken to that don't feel like there's much skill with chopping samples. Do you know what I'm saying? So I want to save that, innit?
All right, got you.
But you had 9th in your top 5 and they
Mine was
replaced him with Dre.
Yeah. Because I didn't look at it like the way JD broke it down. I just thought if you have people helping you, it's different. But I get what you're saying, that if you can't play the piano, you get someone to play the piano the way you want it to play the piano, you're still producing.
But with Dre, though, I think the criticism comes where we don't even know if he's telling people to be like, yo, you do that, you do that.
You think they're just doing that?
I think he might just be doing the more mixing and engineering and then putting his name on it, which is where the criticism comes in and why some people may not throw him in there.
Because it's not his idea at all.
Yeah, and I think it's more the younger people that don't put him in there. I think the old heads will be like, yo, Dre's in there because of NWA and all the people that, you know, Death Row and all that. But for us, man, like a bit younger, we might look at him a bit differently. But for a producer, you might hear something that we don't. So there might be a reason why he might be mentioned or should be mentioned to you, but may not to others.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think objectively he's top 5, 100%. It just goes down to personal preference. I think he definitely had a lot to do with like shaping the West Coast, and that, you know, is not something to sleep on. My top 5 are just more personal to me. I can respect.
Just fighting the mic. Sorry.
I can respect Dre's like catalog and his history and his production skills. When I put him in my top 5, he'd be my top 10, not top 5. Though.
Is Kanye number 1 for everyone here?
He's my favorite. I'm not gonna say he's the
Not for me.
best though.
I think he's the best.
Neptune's for me.
The best,
Yeah. He's number 1 for me.
the best. He's up there.
I think producing, he's probably one of the best. Beat making,
No, I'm just talking about producing.
but they're two different things though, bro.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying
Guess I'll just
producing, he's up there. I don't know if he's the best though. Objectively, I don't know if he's the best. He's my favorite though.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think producer. He's definitely got a case. Top 3, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to put him on top number 1 though. I don't know, man. But hey, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Very eclectic top 5s. So yeah, we'll just move on to the next topic. Obviously, you wanted to talk about
Yeah, the art of sampling, man. I had this had a heated debate. I wouldn't even call it heated, but it was a debate with Rich some time ago. And we were talking about Kanye actually and just like sampling. And he was arguing like his favorite is Timbaland. So he was like, yo, why is Timbaland not mentioned more? Like he doesn't sample, he makes his beats from scratch. That deserves way more respect than someone that just takes a sample and then chops it and then like makes a song out of it. So that's why I wanted for us to discuss it. Like, how do you man feel about
Timbaland
sampling?
definitely samples though.
Huh?
Timbaland
Well,
definitely samples.
I don't know if he samples as much as he creates these beats from scratch.
I'm just thinking about all the like Indian flutes and like strings across all.
Yeah, Indian food. Yeah, Magoo.
Why'd you say Magoo?
Because he's on that tune.
If you ever mention Magoo again, bruv.
I think like with sampling, some of it is obvious. Like you can take like a soul sample, stick it on your tune, loop it. That's a sample. Some might not necessarily be as noticeable. So as JD's saying, Indian flutes, this, that, and the other. Those things that might not necessarily be as decipherable. So I guess it depends on the nature of sampling. I think there is definitely a skill in knowing what bits of a song you want to sample and make the focus and the object of your song and make it bang. Right? It's all a skill at the end of the day, whether you're making it fresh from scratch without no sample or not. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mass Appeal, they do a YouTube series called Rhythm Roulette where they basically...
It's a great series.
It's a great series.
Yeah.
They basically take producers into record stores, they blindfold them, and they pick 3 random vinyls, and they basically sample them and make a beat from it. So even in that, it's a skill. Because you're looking at the actual process of them listening to the tune, finding what they like, you know, exporting it, and then just chopping it up, and then adding their own elements in. So for me, that is just as important and just as skillful as any kind of from scratch beat making. And sampling has been part of hip hop from day one. So
No, I agree with you, man. I think there is an art to sampling, man. I don't think it's easy to, you know, kind of pick a record and make another tune out of it from the original. I don't think that's easy at all because like there's still an element of originality that comes with piecing it together in your head and how it may sound. So I definitely feel like sampling is a skill. But just to play devil's advocate, can you really respect a producer that only samples?
are there any producers that only sample? Seems a bit unbelievable in a sense.
How much did Diddy sample?
I mean,
I think most of Diddy's production was sampling.
he literally just took songs. He didn't even remix them. He just took songs and slowed them down, and that was it.
Just let me take it, fam.
You know, finding the loop that's an art in itself. Finding the good loop. I was actually talking to Budgie about this recently because he's like the sample guy. He was actually saying to me, you need to do a project where you just find samples and just use the loops. And he was saying he needs to do a project where he adds more onto the loops. So it's basically saying we do an opposite of like what each other would normally do. But yeah, just going back to that, there's definitely an art in like hearing an old song and choosing what is that, you know, that perfect 4 seconds in it that you loop up.
Yeah, you gotta have a really good ear for music.
You have to have amazing ear for that.
first of all, and like again, you just gotta have the foresight to know that this is what you want, and this is how you know how you want to chop it, how you want it to sound, and all that as well.
Yeah.
JD, how much do you sample like in your music?
I sample a lot, to be honest. Like, but I try to sometimes make it more obvious that I've used a sample in it, but sometimes I'll just use something really short to just like use as basically a bed to build other ideas on top of. So quite often I'll start a beat with a sample, but I'll process it so much that it's not really noticeable to what it was at the beginning. I find sometimes just starting something completely like blank, just loading up like a synth or whatever, I can just, you just don't get inspired by doing that. So sometimes having a natural feel of something that you've just like, warped or processed a little bit can bring out other ideas when you first start creating.
So it's not necessarily, well, it is the foundation to begin with, but it soon turns into something a little bit different.
Yeah, it does. It's not always, for me, the sample is not always the basis of like, this is the focus of the beat, this is the main section of the beat. Unless obviously you find something that's just crazy, like this needs to be, at the front of the beat.
Yeah. How do you pick a record that you're going to sample?
The way I've been doing it of recent is actually, I've got a mad playlist on Spotify of like, just, crazy samples from like all over the world. Shout out Spotify, because that is like, in recent years been my way of just finding like so much music that I probably wouldn't come across it if I went into a record shop. I still go to stores, especially when I go to like other countries. I always go to a record store and try buy like at least 4 or 5 records to bring back and find stuff to sample from. But
is it usually music from that country?
No, not necessarily. It's just going into stores like around the world. You find just different stuff that you won't get going to the same ones in London all the time. But I'm most of the time I'm looking for like world music. Like I really like sampling stuff from Asia.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that in your tunes as well.
That's what I'm looking for a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I've tried like with soul samples and stuff, but I don't know. I actually find it more difficult to sample, like funk and soul tunes.
Right, so
I feel like sometimes maybe my ear doesn't hear the loop in them as well as it does in other genres. Or sometimes I feel like what I find, or the sections that I might want to sample, they're already quite full, and I like to add quite a lot to the beat. But at the same time, you don't want to overcrowd the beat when you're making it. So it's like, I find if I can just get one line from an Asian record that's got like a koto in it, or like just some weird, like, I don't know, kids chanting, or like some strange percussion, that's an easier base for me to build from than something that's already more full up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and definitely from your own music rather than the music you produce for other people, I feel like there might not necessarily be that much room for like a funk and soul sample, because sometimes it is quite sparse. So I definitely see what you're saying. Definitely makes a lot of sense. As opposed to that, I guess there are the artists that and the producers that literally just take a bit of a sample, loop it, and that's the beat. So in that sense, then, is that maybe they get looked down upon a little bit more because literally all they're doing is taking rather than adding to it in a sense?
I think that's why like Ninth gets a bit of stick. I think he's accused of that a lot, and I think also the software that he came up using, Fruity Loops, I think they've gotten onto him about that as well. They just don't feel like he's as skillful as the other people that we consider to be great.
Because he uses Fruity Loops.
Partly because of that, and
That's crazy though.
And partly because of the fact that he just like picks a song, picks a record, and then just finds like an easy loop, and then makes a tune out of it. That's what the criticism have been. I disagree with that, but that's what I've heard.
That seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because like you're downplaying what is clearly like a difficult process.
Yeah.
Like the actual art of producing, like it's not easy. Like if it was easy, anyone would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to nullify his kind of like skill based on the software he uses is just, people will say anything, innit?
That's crazy. First of all, they should go on Rhythm Roulette and watch his one.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
How he
was
flips those samples,
That was
because no one
cold.
can say nothing to him if they
Facts.
watch
Yeah.
that.
Bro.
Also, probably majority of tunes that they go to the club and listen to and dance to, them trap tunes are made on Fruity. So, you know,
You use Fruity.
no, I've never used Fruity like that.
Wow.
But people have said to me, if you do your drums in Fruity, they just naturally hit harder. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm gonna learn to produce at some point. Right. I don't know why you're laughing for. I'm being dead serious.
Oh,
but like,
Lord.
It's because you said it with a smile, that's why.
That's because he knows that he's
why
going to
not?
get cooked if he says it.
What did you say?
I want to learn to produce, just for fun.
We
not
don't
for
need
like
any more
anything.
soul samples, bro.
But I've been advised to use Fruity Loops. I can't
Oh, so
remember
you
what
seek
it.
advice?
Yeah, for sure. I'm serious.
This is
man.
serious.
I'm serious. For those Fruity Loops, and I can't remember the other program.
Ableton, right?
That's it,
Ableton.
yeah.
That's what I use.
That's what you use.
I used to use Logic, but now I build most of my beats in Ableton, yeah.
Okay.
Let me know how it goes, Peter.
I'm not looking forward to your producing career, if I'm honest. But,
Bro, when it bangs, yeah. I'm just saying.
when what
innit?
bangs? When
When
what
my
bangs?
production bangs, bro.
All right, cool. When it bangs. Yeah, JD, you heard it here first. You might want to collab with him too, innit?
You got to produce.
I will do, bro.
Facts.
You got to produce a name yet?
Nah.
Alright, cool.
We
I
don't
might just
need-
use my name, innit?
No, don't.
Or Peter.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
Come on, man. You need something.
I would never.
Pete
Pick,
Abiyade.
I would
You
never.
need
that's-
something
that's
saucy.
whack. I would never pick up a production beat from
But you
someone
would,
that's called
though.
Pete Abiyade, fam.
You would.
What?
Are you going to have a tag?
I don't know, man.
I say Pete Abiyade.
Nah, that's corny. I think that's a bit corny.
What, a tag?
Well, like London on a beat or something.
Nah, some bang.
Really, like
Yeah,
what?
like J5's one on the right track just sounds wavy to me, fam. Like when it's starting, you just hear J5 and you know it's gonna be a
J5,
madness.
I don't know if I do that.
I like it, bruv, because you know what it is also, if you're investing in the producer and you hear his name at the start of it, you're gonna be invested in the song. Like if I hear a song and I hear J5 at the start of it, I'm gonna hear the song.
You already know what it is.
You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
Because you've invested in him already. So like the tag I don't think is corny. I just think it's because you've invested in some producers. If you hear J5 and you're like, okay,
You know what it's though?
like, do you know what I mean? Like, let me just
Get
sit
ready
up a
for
little.
this now.
Yeah, like let me sit up a little bit and see what's going on here, fam. And you know what's crazy? I don't know if this is a fact, but he's the first London producer I can remember that's for me personally that I've had that affection towards.
Really?
Yeah, in the UK, I can't think of another UK producer I've had that affinity towards. Where if I've heard their name, I've been like, hang on, we've got one here.
No,
Do you know what? Like,
100%.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
The tag
yeah.
definitely adds, man.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? Like, it has to.
Yeah. And he doesn't overdo it. Like American producers overdo it. Like they'll have their tag at least twice, maybe even 3 times throughout one song.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what I find corny. I think maybe overdoing it on a track. Not so much you having a signature, but just maybe.
Yeah, the overdo. If I hear it once at the start, I'm good. But I just feel like it's a smart thing if you're investing in the producing. It's like, plus you know straight away they made a beat.
Yeah.
Because of J5's name being on some songs, I can reel off a list of songs he's produced. And if his name wasn't there, I didn't know he'd done half. I wouldn't have known he'd done some of NSG songs if it wasn't him. Hearing him at the start of it.
But to your point, we now live in a time, especially in the UK, where producers are more in the limelight, whereas before it wasn't as
Yeah,
such.
I feel like he said. I think there's a time. I think JD can speak for it more now, but I feel like it's changing in the UK where now we're noticing producers more.
Yeah, there's
you know what I
definitely
mean?
more shine on us. But
Why do you think that is?
maybe people are just actually more interested in like who actually makes the beats now. Maybe I don't know. I find this like I've been asked this before. I don't know. Maybe producers like with the tags and things like that. You know, just maybe it's like a subconscious thing that people are actually like you said, this is a J5 beat, so I want to pay attention to this. So if J5 did that one, then who's making all these beats for this artist that I like? Then,
Yeah, facts. I definitely feel like those producers, especially nowadays, are taking more ownership of their work as well. So I've spoken to people like Steel Bangles. He's very much a personality and an artist in his own right, and he very much owns the fact that he's like who he is. So people like J5 as well. So I definitely feel like it's a case where they're getting louder and they're just kind of like taking more ownership and more responsibility for what they're putting out.
definitely. Like, I want people to know about the music that I've produced.
Yeah.
Like, if it comes out, I want people to be aware. I want the artist to say, yeah, I did this with JD, or
Yeah,
it's important to me. Also, it helps me grow and get to work with other people as well. You know, other artists hear a tune by an artist that I've worked with, I've produced, then I'm more likely to be able to work with them as well. So.
Is it a consumer's issue as well? Is it us as fans? Is it our fault that maybe the producer isn't propelled in the UK as they are in the States? Because in the States, I feel like a lot of the fans and the rappers in America that they like help make the producers stars in this in the sense as well and help their name to ring a bit more. Whereas maybe as fans in the UK, maybe we could do more. Because like someone like a Da Vinci, I feel like for some of the shit that he was doing early 2000s, man, he should like, he should like have some sort of like legendary status or something, bruv. Yeah, man, or even like Prince Rapid.
Where's all these statues gonna go for?
Outside his house.
But even like Prince Rapid, like these are like just names that I remember from growing up that I just thought these men were incredible.
But in grime though, people knew about who the producers were. I think it is kind of a genre thing as well. Because you think about dance music in general, a lot of it's instrumental. You know all the producers that are making that stuff, but maybe in the rap world, or just where the focus is more on the artist on the song, maybe it's their song, so maybe that's where the producer isn't perceived as so important to the fan.
But to that though, I feel like those early days of grime, the grime scene knew about who the producers were and the grime fans knew who they were, but obviously it was still a small scene, it was still developing, so it wasn't necessarily known as much to a wider audience. But now, as we've got number one singles, now we've got like chart-topping albums and stuff like that, producers are going to share that wealth. Producers are going to share that bag anyway, because the scene is opening up and more people, fans and consumers are consuming those musics and are seeing who is actually behind the beat if they're trying to take an interest in it. So I definitely just feel like it's been a matter of growth with our scene to the point where, only a few people know about who this beat maker / producer is, but now it's kind of more widely known and people are kind of, producers especially, are kind of taking more ownership of that. So
when you guys go on Spotify, I don't know if you actually use Spotify, but do you look at the credits now?
Yeah,
and check
I always have
stuff. Yeah,
I always have, man. I've always been interested in like the backstory behind songs, especially my favorite songs. I like to know like who wrote what was sampled where, who played that instrument, like who helped on the track. I was always interested in that. I
wonder why you knew things. Guitarist or whoever you knew from.
Yeah, I've just always cared about it, man. I don't know, just like it helps with the overall picture in my head of even where I place an artist, like just knowing who they collaborate with, and maybe I should look out for the person that maybe played that guitar. Yeah, and like I don't know, I've just always been interested in. So yeah, I don't know, I've always cared about credits.
Right,
I'll do it, just not to nowhere near to that level.
Like if you really like the tune,
I'll have a glance and just. I'll stop at the producer. After the guitarist, go away. I'll look at the person and then I'll look at the producer and it's like.
But does that come from maybe my overindulgence in other genres of music?
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like because you like all black guys, you like knowing who helped them out. Whereas with me, I'm good knowing the producer and the rapper.
Okay,
I don't know why that is.
Because you're not really educated.
Wow.
I don't know where we go from here. That was such a
what I mean by that,
No, you told me nothing by that.
No, what I mean by that is obviously you don't listen to the old black guys, so you're not as invested.
I said the older black guys. I didn't say the older. I said older.
But you're not as invested in the instrumentation of things.
How invested are you?
I mean, I'm fairly interested. I feel
like you're in the middle of me and Peter.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the middle. I don't necessarily care to know, but it's always nice to know who put what into what. Obviously, big fan of the producers as well, so I'm always gonna want to know who did the beat and obviously who rapped the raps as well. So yeah, I'm very much in the middle.
Peter, I've got a quick question for you though.
Yeah.
So if you see there's a guitarist that helped this guy out with a song, are you gonna specifically check for what other songs he was involved in? Or she was involved in?
Yeah,
delved into it.
Yeah, if I really enjoyed like what they did on the track, like their contribution to it, then 100%. I think D'Angelo was like a perfect example, innit? Like I think the reason why I mentioned the reason why I mentioned Pino Palladino in the past is because
it's Pino Palladino.
He's his bass player in his band. Right, but like the reason why I've mentioned him in the past is because like I really enjoy his style of playing on the bass. So, and I don't know, it's just very, very funky. So it makes me want to it helps me to gravitate more towards whatever else he does. I'm just like,
you want to find other music that
you
like.
You're on, I don't know what the word is.
I'm just a nerd, bro.
Yeah, that's a great word actually.
Yeah, I just care, I don't know, man. I just like getting to the crux of it. Like, how did this music come to be? Like, how did they do this? Like,
so Pino Palladino's his bass player.
Yeah, and he's sick too.
So JD, as a producer, do you kind of have that same kind of interest whenever you hear a song that you really like from a producer you really like? Do you always kind of try and get into the head of how that beat was made and constructed, or?
Sometimes it will be like, you know, you like the song, you just appreciate the song. If there was stuff in it that really stood out to me, then yeah, I'd probably delve deeper and try and find out like, you know, who played the drums on that, or who, you know, who was that musician that stood out on that track to me. It's not something that I do all the time, but I think in terms of creating music at the moment, there's definitely like certain musicians who I know I would go to for a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like there's specific guitarists that I work with at the moment, and like I know if I wanted a crazy key solo or something, I have an idea of who I would ask to play on it, you know.
Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
So what's your like creative process like generally? How do you go about making your beats?
I'll sit down at the computer with a cup of tea.
Them ones.
How many sugars?
1 sugar.
Alright, cool.
I'm trying to get down to 0, but I'm on 1 at the moment.
White or brown sugar?
Brown.
Well done.
You're way better than me, man.
Trying to be healthy out
How
here,
many
man.
sugars are you on, bro?
I'm on level. I'm on like 3.
Tea with
Is it?
I'm on.
Is it white sugar?
White sugar.
Might as well just
you
drink
gotta
sugar
cut
water, bro.
You say?
Just drink sugar water.
You gotta cut that down, bro. Come
Say?
on, man. You gotta
No,
cut
legit.
it down, man.
I'm free on. But even I'm weird.
Free on brown sugars.
But even on
Yeah.
even like
But tea with no sugar is trash.
But even like I get hot chocolate on the regs. Even my hot chocolate from Starbucks, I put 2 free sugars in there too.
Okay, yeah, you're mad for that. You're wild.
Swear, like, people at work will tell you.
I was
like,
with you on the free sugars, and then you went to free sugars and the hot
No,
chocolate.
like every morning I'll go to Starbucks, get hot chocolate, and put 2 sugars in there. 3 if I'm fancy.
No. You just said 3, and now you're saying 2, and now you're saying 3 if you're fancy.
No, I'm saying 2, but 3 if I'm feeling a bit peckish.
peckish.
Feel you.
But like 100%, I'm adding sugar to my song. Anyway, we're getting distracted.
Sorry, man.
But yeah, no,
Yes.
sugar's getting dived in.
Sit down, computer, tea, probably listen to some music first. If there's like, I don't know, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I can hear like a certain song in my head. I might visit that album, or like, if not, I'll go to my long samples playlist on Spotify, just flick through some stuff, just like try and absorb some vibe from things, you know. And then just there's not really a set way to like how I would start making a beat, but it's just, you know, whatever vibe you get caught in on that day. If I'm not starting with a sample, then like I've got a guitar in my studio, I might just play a couple strings on there, even though I can't really play guitar, and like use that as a bass. It's all about finding, like, for me, that first sound that will inspire me to keep building on top of it.
Do you ever worry that, like, you know, you said that you might listen to a tune before you start producing. Do you ever worry about being too influenced?
Nah, not really.
Nah?
Not really. Because, I mean, I can play keys a bit, but like, I don't think I'm ever gonna hear something and recreate it exactly the same as. Yeah. It's more just like trying to absorb the feeling of a song than remaking it, or how it makes me feel anyway.
And I guess the creative process differs depending on the artist that you work with as well, right?
Yeah, the artists I work with, the weather outside, where I am when I make it, what's in the room, you know, what's happened before I sat down to make the beat, you know, where my head's at on that day or whatever. There's like so many variables that can affect like what you're gonna make when you sit down to make something.
Yeah, 100%. What's like people like slowthai? Who are they like? What are they like to like work with generally?
Slowthai is sick to work with. He always has a good energy in studio.
I can see that.
You could definitely.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that.
like, yeah, he's somebody that is very easy to vibe with. Some people are more reserved, more chill, you know, but like with him, it's like I can play him a bunch of beats or I can start something from scratch, but he's like, I'll hear him just start writing quickly, or like he comes up with ideas very easily, which is inspiring to the producer when, you know, the artist is vibing with what you're doing or creating. So,
What about someone like Flohio?
Flohio is quite similar to Ty in that way, actually. Like she writes quickly as well, and she's just like a very nice person, very easy and down to earth.
Yeah, she's dope.
Yeah, she's sick, man.
If you haven't like had built a rapport with the person that the artist you're about to work with, how important is that to creating music with them? Do you have to build a rapport first, or
I feel like it's weird to sit in a room and just like be like, yo, you're right, let me play some beats.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you've really, you got to try to, you know, not necessarily like build a mad relationship with the person straight away, but you've got to be on a level where you both feel comfortable enough with each other to like start sharing ideas. Because like, you know, creating something with somebody is like you have to have an element of feeling comfortable with them. It's not like, you know, I don't feel like you're gonna give your best unless you feel comfortable. So it's always about, you know, just at least trying to have a conversation about what's been going on, how are you, like where you been, what's been going on, just, you know, general, like just vibing the same way I've just met you guys today. It's like just had a little, you know, chat, catch up. You know, it makes the whole thing easier.
And you can definitely hear it on the song as well. Like if they don't have chemistry between the artist and the producer as well. Like sometimes it does. I think so.
I was gonna ask that. Can you? I can't think of any.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know if.
But then what if you just sent a beat to somebody? Because that happens too, you know, if you sent the beat.
Yo, 100%. But sometimes you can kind of tell, kind of like the whole Nasir album, like you can tell that sometimes you're not really catching the beat, you're not really catching the flow and stuff like that. So it can sound a bit jarring. And I feel like that can translate in other people's music as well, not just like Nas and stuff. So I definitely feel like there's an element of like not necessarily being able to tell whether there's great chemistry there. Maybe I'm just a nerd who just listens to too much music, but yeah, that's just me. But
no, there's definitely been sessions where like you'll have, I don't know, a few days with somebody and the first day is mostly just like just getting to know each other. Yeah. You know, you might start a couple of ideas, but most of the day was just about catching a vibe with the person that you're going to be doing more music with. So,
what if you don't catch a vibe?
I mean, it happens sometimes. But, you know, you still try to push through because we're there to make music at the end of the day. You might get lucky and make something sick, or you might make something that was cool. Maybe next time will be better, you know? You can't force it, man. It's like, if a sick tune comes out, a sick tune comes out. If it's all right, it's all right. It's cool.
Can't always hit.
No, I can't always hit at all. But you've been lucky enough to, like, you know, you've been hit a few times, you know what I'm saying?
I feel quite lucky.
Finders keepers and all that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100%, man. Definitely.
Finders keepers.
Huh?
That was a big one.
It was all right, wasn't it?
That was a bit of a big one.
It was all right.
That was a sick one. That was the first session we ever had.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time I met her that day. It was me, her, and her brother Marlon. And we was making a tune that day. And it was cool. It was one of the alright ones. And then literally last 20 minutes, the beat was bare simple. And the song was written so quickly. And then I took away what we had there and built the beat more. But
what's that transition like from like being a rap / grime producer to doing something more pop leaning?
Sometimes if you're like, if on a week I've got one session that's like rap, and then going to the other side of like, I guess more poppy or R&B, it can be a bit like, it's like, you get into two different headsets sometimes. But I like a lot of music and I listen to a lot of different music throughout a week. So I just trying to, just catch the vibe. Don't force it. If it comes out,
it
comes out.
It has
you
to
know?
be tough, man. Like imagine Monday, Tuesday, grime, and then just Thursday, Friday, you got to do.
Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, facts. And it's not a case of like boxing yourself in like as just a rap producer as well. Like you clearly have the skills to do so much more than that.
I feel quite fortunate that I'm able to step across like different genres like that, man. It's like,
it works, innit? If it works, it works.
That's what I mean. I feel like if I'm gonna work with somebody, if I feel like I've got something that I can contribute to their music, then like I'm on trying to do it, you know.
No, I feel you.
Was there a sample in Finders Keepers?
There was originally, but I replayed it. So the Wally rhythm, I had that in there originally, but we couldn't use it as it was. So
I was going to
had
ask
to
that,
recreate
actually.
it.
Yeah, do you have issues with like clearing samples in that?
It happens sometimes. Yeah.
How'd you deal with that?
It's long, bro.
Just laughed it off.
I can imagine, bro.
It's long, man.
I can imagine.
It's long.
Did you know you know when you was making that beat and then when making a song? Did you know you had one with that one? Like, did you guys, as you was going along, did you kind of know like Yeah, we got one here.
I try not to think about that kind of thing too much. It's more just like when I started making music, it was because it was fun and I did it because I enjoyed doing it. So I still try to keep that
just want the
head
music to be
first. Yeah, I
fun,
don't want to
yeah.
think about this is going to be a hit or like anything like that because I feel like that would just throw you in it. It changes the reason why I started creating music in the first place.
Not better than me, but if I had finders keepers, can't tell me shit, fam.
Then you gotta be consistent with it as well.
I'll have a hoodie with that name on the back of it. Just walk around showing people.
You have no shame.
You might know that about me, fam.
You have no shame at all.
Just big Mabel face and the finders keepers there.
I feel you, man.
Fair enough. Well, now's the time for us individually to pick our own favorite samples from a lot of the myriad rap songs that we've listened to in our lives.
Oh man.
So JD will give you some time because obviously we sprung it on you.
I don't mind going first. Setting pace in that, yeah.
So for this, you gotta name the actual sample and the song that it was sampled.
Yeah. So I picked two. The first one, it's not a hip hop song. It's by a hip hop producer though. It's Alicia Keys' "You Don't Know My Name." Kanye West produced that, and the sample is from a soul group known as The Main Ingredients. And the name of the song is "Let Me Prove My Love to You." And man, I just loved what Kanye did with that, man. Like, I think sometimes I don't know for sure, but I imagine like, losing the feel of the original can be a fear for whoever is sampling whatever. So I just rated the fact that I think if you listen to the sample and then listen to Alicia Keys' version, I just imagine that like, you will still get that same feel from both songs. And yeah, I just loved what Kanye did with that, man. He kept the warmth of it, and he just flipped it, man. Kanye's a genius, man.
Was there a case where
he's a genius, man?
I feel you. Was there a case where he just took the sample and just kind of like slowed it down?
No, like he took. So it wasn't even the whole tune that he took. I think he took like the last, maybe like minute. He might have taken the last minute and then just, I think he looped that as the actual beat for Alicia Keys. And then there's a bit in the Alicia Keys song where like, and this is why I was even like, Kanye's like, he's a madman because he could have easily just looped the sample all the way through, but there was a part where he like cuts it. And then where Alicia Keys is talking to Mos Def on the phone? Mm-hmm. And then it's like that soft, like there's like a soft kind of bit to the beat. That's not part of the sample. I think he just did that. And I just think that's just genius. And yeah, just the overall sample, I just loved it. I love the use of that, man. And then my second choice was a Kendrick Lamar song off To Pimp a Butterfly called Mama. It was produced by Knowledge, and the sample was taken from a Layla Hathaway song called On My Own. And I heard that she actually came in to add additional vocals to it, which I thought was dope. It still sounded amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And yeah, I just loved what Knowledge did with that, man. Like if you hear the original song, it's very slow. It's a very sensual song. And just like the way Knowledge was able to just kind of flip it and still keep that feeling, because you can still get that feel for it, but it's hip hop. I just loved what he did with that, man. So yeah, those are my two. I can't say they're my favorites, but two of like the best samples that I've enjoyed for sure.
Some good samples.
Yeah, man.
Mohammed?
Yeah, so I went with, I think we're going with Kanye here today, bro. Fucking up.
You do?
Yeah, I went for Kanye as well. Oh shit, sorry, sir.
No, good.
I went for Kanye, All Falls Down. He sampled the GOAT female, Lauryn Hill, for me. Mission of Iniquity. I can't even speak English for a second, bruv. Yeah, that's the one I went for, just because I feel like the way he done it was, he would do it artistically and beautifully, innit? I just feel like it's flawless. I had a couple more, but I realised they were all Kanye, so I thought, let me chill.
So wait, the actual sample, the vocal on the sample, that's Lauryn Hill?
Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And then he done it in a way where it just sounded crazy to me, man. Like, because obviously growing up, I feel like we're at an age now where we recognise the samples. Like we've got to that age now where when people sample a song, we're like, shit, why am I sampled? Why am I?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're old now, so like if someone samples a song, I feel like hey yo,
We're getting old, bro.
wasn't that 96? Wasn't that 97?
I was there.
Yo, no, do you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
some do it great. Tamar Braxton done it horribly. Like
Tamar
Are you coming for Tamar?
she sampled Juicy, innit?
Oh, I ain't even heard the song.
Ah, bro, throw it in the bin.
Oh, for real?
But then it charted. But who done it? It was, Young Berg.
Yeah.
Young Berg sampled Biggie for Tamar Braxton and then Juicy. But even though that was sampled from Juicy Fruit. But anyway, throw it in the bin. So some do it beautifully, some do it like her. And I feel like we're at the age now where we recognize it. So when I heard it, I was like, shit, Kanye's a genius, not knowing that obviously he sampled it. Then I heard it, I'm like, yo, this guy's a fuck. He's broken. Like, he's broken, fam. He's an alien, fam. He's a cheat code, fam. Left, right, R1, R2, maximum ammo on GTA,
you got to
fam.
throw an R1 in there.
What'd you say?
You got to throw an R1
R1,
in there.
R2.
For it to really be a cheat code.
Square X, left, maximum ammo on GTA, fam. That's what Kanye West is, bro. Like, to me, he done it flawlessly. So yeah, that's the one I'm gonna go for all fours down, man. Just because. Shout out to Selena, whatever her surname is as well. She's on the song too.
But to that Tamar Braxton one, I think there might be some tunes that might be too sacred to touch and try and sample.
I feel like Juicy's one of them as well.
I think Juicy might be one just because of
of
how big
Miss
that
Jackson
tune
was
is.
as well, and before DJ Khaled.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man.
That was, it was terrible.
that was
trash.
genuinely disappointed.
That was
You got to
trash.
be careful with that, man.
See, he's an example of someone who takes a song, tries to recreate, and does it terribly. Whereas someone like Rhapsody, she did the
But didn't he
remake
do
of-
Marie all right?
He
Wild Force was
did in a
cool, man.
sense.
Wild
He
Force
did in
was
a sense,
cool.
but he tried to do it again with Miss Jackson, and it flopped.
Yeah,
Whereas-
he could have left it.
He
at
could have
Wild
left
Thoughts.
it out.
Just leave it there, innit?
He could
But I
have.
felt like the way the bass was played on Wild Thoughts was a little bit stiff compared to when Santana played it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
You
was a
Like,
lot more.
felt-
It was
felt a
greasier.
little bit
There wasn't
different,
as
like-
much soul
When
in
Carlos
it.
Santana did it,
No,
was a lot
swinging
greasier.
quite
Yo,
the same.
as much as you'll be sarcastic, you're right though, but Santana's one hit differently. Fam.
Bro.
The soul was there with Santana's one. Like as much as you make a joke, it was there. Like
Fam, it was oily, fam.
I felt it.
You know what I'm saying,
It
bro?
was
It's a little different.
Yeah,
It
man.
was sun-kissed.
just had barbecue chicken. Say just had the sangria on the side, fam. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile,
Bro.
DJ Khaled had this little elliptical machine while not losing weight, fam.
I'm saying, man. Whereas Rhapsody, she recreated Liquid Swords, and that was dope.
Yeah, she did well with that.
Yeah, she did really well with that, and even got Jizza involved as well.
I was gonna
so-
say maybe because she had Jay-Z involved as well, though, innit?
just the beat itself was just like dope.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like a loop, and then it goes on to the actual sample where it goes into the instruments and stuff. So that was like dope for me. That's definitely a recent one for me. But generally, my favorite sample, it's got to be Wu-Tang Clan Cream, and that's taken from a tune by the Charmels called "As Long as I've Got You." And they RZA basically took the intro horns, put that in the intro, and then the actual loop. It was like 10 seconds on the actual Charmel song. And for me, it's just like, it's such an amazing song. Like Cream is like probably top 10 hip hop songs ever for me.
Yeah.
So to see that they had taken just a fraction of a second from one tune, maybe a couple, like one like 10-second bit from the same tune and just like made it like, recreated it and made it such a classic. Like, yeah, man, it's a heavenly song, the actual original song. And Cream is just what it is as well. So that's flipping amazing. Most recently, I really love what Heady One did on both. So he sampled a song called Free by Ultra Nate. We all know the song. I'm not going to sing it. So yeah, man, I just liked the way he did it, man. I never liked that song at first, like the Free song. And then Heady One just like did madness with it. Yeah, I mean, he made it sick. So yeah, shout out to him for that, basically. But yeah, man, it's just... there's a few good samples out there, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
100%. Like hip hop definitely just lives on, especially the old classic 90s hip hop songs that we know as like amazing songs. Like the samples are probably what make them more often than not. So yeah, man.
And how they're used as well, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Again, a skill.
Yeah, for sure, man.
JD, what you got?
Right now, I would say Common the Light is the tune. The sample's by Bobby Caldwell. It's called Open Your Eyes. That tune's actually produced by Dilla as well. Yeah, love that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
It's a real classic.
Can't go wrong with
A second one as well, Jay-Z, Girls, Girls, Girls. The sample is by Tom Brock. It's got a long title, which is There's Nothing in This World That Can Stop Me From Loving You.
That's the
I
name
don't
of the
think
song.
I've heard that.
That's the name of the
I
sample.
don't think I've heard that. I might check
It's
that.
a sick one
I
as
didn't
well.
realize that was a sample.
That's what I'm saying. From we're at the age now, we realize that back then,
I heard originally that was supposed to be
That's
for
Just
Ghostface.
Blaze.
Just play produced
what,
that.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad they gave it to Jay-Z.
Wait, what would you say?
Apparently that was supposed to be for Ghostface originally.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I
I
heard.
can see that.
That's what I heard.
100%.
Boy, I'm glad they gave it to Jay-Z.
Why?
Hey, don't get angry. at me,
Ghostface should have hopped on the remix.
Bruv, that would have been
That would have been
sick.
good. That's definitely Ghostface.
All right, guys.
This guy, man, you don't listen to enough Ghostface, do you?
I actually do, you know. Shout out to Ghost.
Well, then you would know that he's
No, that's what I'm saying. I actually do. So it's like maybe not as much as you two, but I actually do listen to Ghost.
nah. Pete listens to him most.
Hey, P is from the 80s. P is a 70s baby.
For years, he was battling whether it was Black Thought or Ghostface at the top of his.
Was he really?
list. Yeah, man. Every time I'd see him, like it'd be one day it'd be Black Thought, the other day it'd be Ghostface.
And now it's not
back
even a
and forth
question.
and back and
Yeah,
forth.
that's not a question.
No, it's not a
yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Boy, Blackford done overtime with Jimmy Fallon.
This guy, man.
Ghostface probably got one of the better ears for beats, like in hip hop.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%. Any others?
I can't think of any.
Rick Ross
Rick Ross in our generation's got the best ear for beats.
in our generation.
I thought you meant another sample. I didn't know you meant ears. Yeah. In our generation, I don't think I've heard a better beat picker than Rick Ross. I think Rick Ross is amazing. Like someone, Santorini Greece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, bruv.
I didn't say that again.
Even the way he took Wale's and what he made it. I know that's not his ear, but the one, what is it? The one we kept on really, what's the song called again? And it's on the new
Turnpike. Ike.
Yeah, Turnpike Ike.
Turnpike Hike.
Turnpike, yeah. That's originally his song, but then Wale took it a while ago down Groundhog Day. But like, even that beat's ridiculous, man. Like, Rick Ross got stupid ear. But as for another sample, I can't think of any more. If you guys got any more?
There's too many, man.
The Diplomats.
It's a long list.
Yeah, long list.
They're very good.
What's-
Diplomats. Dipset.
What song?
I mean, they just got a good ear for like.
Oh yeah, they
sample
got
beats.
a bag of them.
Yeah.
They got a bag of
That
them.
whole
I've got
first
another sample,
Diplomat-
but I can't bring up this artist, so I'm not going to say it.
R. Kelly.
Nah, boy, I was going to say J. Cole.
Oh, that's
All right,
I mean, you brought up Wretch. You might as well bring up.
yeah,
J.
I was
Cole.
going to say R. Kelly, man. I've got to bring up that monster, fam.
no, because you love Kells, man.
This not, dude, yo, this getting edited, bro.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just,
Nah, let's go to the next.
you love Kells.
Yo,
man.
fam, let's go to the next topic, bro.
I loves Kells, man.
No way, fam. But
What you think J. Cole's got a good ear for?
no, like, there's a few that he sampled. Like, I remember Fire Squad, he sampled, I think it's an old Mexican song. Because me and my boys were just, it was either Fire Squad or Sanch. It was one of the songs of Forest Hills that he done an old song to. And I just, like, I don't think he's amazing at it. I just feel like that one song he hit with. I still prefer J. Cole when someone else is producing for him.
Yeah.
I
Is it just me that thinks though, like I would have listened to more J. Cole, I think, in my life if it was different beats.
Nope, it's not just you.
Okay,
It's not
cool.
just you.
I'm just
No,
checking.
that's what I'm saying. No,
I'm just checking
not
because
just
No, I agree. I said it. I prefer J. Cole when someone else produces his shit.
But even like just if someone else produced them, but just the beats that he still chooses to rap on, it's like
Mad stale, man.
that stops me
Mad
from
style,
listening to
man.
more
So
J. Cole.
you're not a fan of his production?
He's got some cool beats, but it's just like they don't hit for me the same way as
Yeah,
if he had a better beat selection.
But
I'm with you, bro.
do you think it's wise for a rapper to produce for himself? Do you think that can work?
Yeah,
As
it can.
often, like, besides a few anomalies, do you think it's a winning formula, or do you think it's better for like a producer and a rapper to just be separate entities?
Oh, if they can make sick beats, they can make sick beats, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Cole. He makes good beats. It's just they just don't really.
Definitely, yeah. Let's not do.
They're kind of monotonous. They don't really go past a certain register for me anyway, and that's why they become boring because he's not really testing himself. The one beat, the best beat he ever had, he gave it to Kendrick. I mean, High Power.
High Power.
And I feel like
That was
KOD.
cold.
Yeah. With KOD, I feel like his production definitely improved. I think it was a lot more jumpy and bouncy and a lot more rampant. But generally, he probably does need to outsource his
Yeah,
work.
give me a Cole album for another producer, just once in my life, and I'm good. Just one, and I'm good.
Him and Primo need to do an album together.
I said that. I think I tweeted that. I was like, if him and Primo, DJ Primo get together, just give me one album.
Yeah, he sounded good on that gang.
I could die a happy death. Like, I could die a happy death.
Then he'll have a classic,
It's that simple. At least we know it.
quote unquote.
I just thought of a sample. I was listening to Quincy Jones this morning, and like I think the intro of it was the Far Side tune. What's that Far Side song? Not Running, the other one.
Pass me by.
Where it's like, dun, dun,
Yeah, pass me by.
yeah, I didn't know that was from Quincy Jones, bro. I was like, raw.
Oh, for real.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
yeah. I can't remember the name of the song.
Probably should have
Hold on.
known that was a sample too, to be fair.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, oh, raw.
But do we agree that there's some samples that you should never touch? There's some songs that
Yeah,
just
100%.
untouchable.
Well, I mean, it depends, man. It depends because obviously, even Diddy was really good at like just recreating like really amazing songs that probably shouldn't have been touched into like classics. It just depends on the angle you go down it. Like if you go on the Khaled route, then leave it alone. But if you go on the Diddy route, Fair game.
It's also kind of subjective as well. If you hold like a personal like love for a certain tune, you're gonna be like, no one should touch this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. There's certain songs that you should just leave alone, man.
Certain old tunes that like, I don't know if like you grew up with your parents listening to them in the house. I don't want to hear.
No, it's
I don't want to hear someone
facts.
touch them.
No,
you know?
you're right, fam. Because I remember, I forgot who it was. I remember some rock stars tried to take Smooth Criminal, you remember?
On the flip side, though, there are
Smooth Criminal.
You remember
that
some
was
rock-
Alien Anthem.
Yeah, and
Remember
I
that?
went crazy for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like, what you lot
Wasn't that
get
Papa
around?
Roach
You
or
know
something?
I don't know who it was. All I remember,
can't
these man,
remember.
all I remember, these man talk Smooth Criminal, yeah. I was like, yo, what
Yeah,
are you,
right.
bruv? You lot are mad,
It kind of banged back in the day. Back in the day.
It did not bang. Relax,
Back in the
fam.
day.
Michael Jackson leaned forward and came back up straight.
But then you
fam.
know what, bro? Them man probably said it about rap. Because when Diddy took David Bowie's Let's Dance, I'm pretty sure them man
What
weren't
did, what
happy
did he
with
make it though?
that. Being around the world.
Cool. Did that song bang?
Yeah.
Then that's all.
But they probably didn't feel that way.
Nah, I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, but rappers always had a bad rep for sampling because, you know, you're taking what was sacred and you're taking what was original, actual music, allegedly, into something that is just recycled and, you know, explicit language, all that stuff. So, you know, rap and sampling has always had a kind of interesting relationship anyway. But on the flip side, I do feel like there are certain tunes that whoever uses it, it's going to bang. Like, I think the Hit 'Em Up sample, that's just such an amazing song that you could probably anyone could probably use it and it would bang, I feel like. And
Yeah, I
the
get what you mean,
the
yeah.
Big Papa sample as well, I think the same thing. Those are just two songs that give to anyone and they'll
No,
probably
but if you
make it
listen
good.
to the original for that Big Papa song,
Nah,
I'm good on that Biggie's version, bro. Because it's from the Isley Brothers. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm good, man.
I feel you. But I also feel
That's
like...
Between the
Yeah.
sheets.
Yeah, bro. Just leave that.
that's-
Don't touch that.
Oh, I hate
In
you.
that sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a banger, innit? So
Okay, so...
Biggie done great, but I'm just
No one else now.
like no one
Yeah,
else, man.
no one else. Hey, man, I hope DJ Khaled isn't listening to this and gets some ideas.
Hey, man. No, I hope DJ Khaled's listening to this, man.
So yeah, we're gonna end it there. So thank you, JD, for coming
Appreciate
through.
you, brother.
Thank you for
big up,
having me.
man,
Like,
big up.
appreciate
Yeah,
you. Been good.
100%. How can the people get at you, bro?
At JD Reid Music on everything, Twitter, Instagram, / JD Reid Music on Facebook, if anyone even uses that now. I doubt it.
Wait, use what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Facebook.
On Facebook. If
Oh,
anyone
Facebook,
uses
yeah.
it. I don't know. No, I don't think anyone
definitely
uses that.
don't.
But yeah, it's just at JD Reid Music on Twitter and Instagram. And
SoundCloud as well.
SoundCloud / JD Reid Music. I'm on Spotify,
All that
Apple
stuff.
Music, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Fair dues. Boys, anything else to add?
Shout out to Chief Keef.
Why?
As the decade comes to an end, I just want to shout out to people who I think are influencers.
Influencers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely in his own sense.
Yeah,
In
so
his
as
own
we,
right.
as we come to a close, I just want to give one. I'm going to mention someone else every end of the episode, and Chief Keef's this one.
How about we just plan a decade episode? That you
We're
can-
going to do
you
that as
can
well.
just-
But I
I
just
think
want
he really wants to do that,
I
innit?
think so. I
we're
think he
doing
does
it.
too.
No, we're doing
He
it.
definitely wants to reel it off.
This guy wants to, because he wants to do it at the end of 2020. But that's the start of a new decade.
But that's the end of this decade, though.
Nah, the end of this decade is 2019.
Nah.
What you mean
No,
now?
do you not know how decades work?
Nah.
The end of 2019 is the end of this decade.
Yeah, but why would we do it now, though? Why not do it
No.
in 2020?
That's what I'm saying. January 2020, we're going to do the
You
end
didn't
of,
say that.
I said when we do the end of year recap, we might as well do the end of
Yeah, but I'm
decade
saying do it
recap.
in 2020. You're saying
No, because you said the end of
of-
2020.
whatever, man.
Anyway,
I'll give you.
shout out-
Semantics.
Shout out to Chief Keef.
Shout out to Chief Keef
That's my only thing I had to say.
for everything he's given to the hip hop community.
I'm 300. Oh, black.
Gang,
Gang, gang.
On that note, we're gonna sign off. So yeah, peace out, and yeah, thanks to JD Reid again, and yeah, we will see you very very soon. Take care. Peace.